Hello and welcome to this week's edition of World Focus. Well, to say that it's a big week in the UK is an understatement. It's actually a huge week, a great week for racing with two champions there, Frankel and Black Caviar, the great stars going to the Ascot course. And when you've got a great day like that or a great week like that, you've got to have a great guy in the studio as well. And I'm very pleased to welcome back to World Focus Dave Scott from AfricanBettingClub.com, and he's looking resplendent. Davey, you're looking absolutely superb with the top hat and the tails.
Well, I'll tell you, I was the only chap in Pretoria trying to hire a top hat this morning, and I feel as though I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go, but really looking forward to a fantastic week's racing.
Absolutely. You just look at the 5 days and it just thrills you. It sets those old pulses racing, doesn't it? The old pulses are racing, and of course, well, let's talk first about Frankel, who runs in the Queen Anne on Tuesday, and I think the people just come to want to see him run.
That's true. It's not really backable, as we discussed at the odds of 1 to 6, 1 to 7, whatever. Yeah. But we'll look for a few doubles, maybe onto Black Caviar. I believe 4 to 6 is available, which is I think is a reasonable price for these two.
Yeah.
And but as you say, I think the crowds will just go to the racetrack just to see a true champion in action. And I'm looking forward to the opening of the meeting with Frankel. What a start to a week. Really.
Put the house and the wife on the double then. There you go.
Well, as I say, running short of the pension money now. You know, there's a thin line between the bucket shop and the pension, but I think the balance of the pension's going on the double for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Frankel, of course, I mean, he's done everything right, hasn't he? And then possibly in Excalibration, he's in opposition again, but he's beat him every time they've met him. So I think what we're really rather hoping is that Frankel wins impressively and possibly goes on to York to take on Camelot in the Jubilant. So I think that would be a great race to look forward to, wouldn't it?
It would be great. It depends, as you know, it's such a hard call, you know, whether Camelot does the St. Leger. Will it go into the St. Leger and the Arc? You know, will it do them both? And maybe that might put a damper on them clashing. But it will be the clash that Mill Reef and Brigadier Gerard never had could potentially build up here.
Correct.
You know?
Very correct. OK, let's have a look at, apart from the Queen Anne, on the first day, we've got the King's Stand Stakes. Now, another Australian horse who would have been hugely in the media if there had been no Black Caviar is Hortensia, who's come with a very good reputation.
Excellent. I mean, the Australians are renowned for the sprinters, and really I think that's will go close, because I don't think there's much local talent on offer really this year.
Because it was Choisir in 2003 that really kicked off this Aussie interest. Yeah. He won that. He won 2 races, didn't he, in the same week?
They tend to go for the King's Stand,
and then
the Golden Jubilee on the Saturday, which we thought Black Caviar might have done that as well, but it's just going to the one. And again, the local horse, it's Bated Breath. Right. That's probably the choice of the local ones. If it does well or doesn't do well, it might not. It might be withdrawn against Black Caviar, so it makes the opposition even easier on Saturday. You know.
Yeah. So I was looking at some of the betting there. Whiz Kid 11 to 2, Soul Power 9 to 1. So Hortensia 5 to 1. So we're not talking about a Black Caviar prize here.
No. It's like 5 to 1 the field, as you say. The Bated Breath, the Hortensia, and Whiz Kid, and anybody's guess which one can make it. Plus, it's quite a strong field, so
it is indeed.
Anything could go in the King's Stand.
It could indeed. One of my boys has tipped me a horse called Tangerine Trees, 25 to 1. But anyway, we'll see about that. Right, let's go on to Wednesday. And of course, now we've got the Prince of Wales Stakes, which is always a top race. And of course, the Queen, Queenie, in a year. Wonderful celebrations they've just had there.
Seen them,
You know, it was heart-rending stuff, wasn't it? She's got Carlton House, of course, was favourite for the Investec Derby last year.
Which would be nice, certainly very appropriate for to win this week. Dave, I think, you know, really that looking at the field as well, I suppose, So You Think will probably be the favourite.
How's the market there?
I would think So You Think will be the even money favourite.
Right.
And then the French horse, 4 to 1.
Sigle des Aigles.
Yes, you say it better than I do, Dave. I would think that would be a far better each way bet than going for So You Think. I'm never been a big So You Think fan, and I think it can get beat again.
He came there with a big reputation, didn't he? And he hasn't quite fulfilled it, So You Think. But as you say, it doesn't sound like if he's evens, it That doesn't look. That's what I call skinny.
Yeah, it would be for that.
I rather like that term. I think the commentators use it over there. That's a skinny prize.
It's a very skinny prize.
Yeah.
In fact, there's talk of it starting money on.
Yeah.
There could be potentially
Odds on.
4 money on shots, including the Gold Cup horse.
Really?
So we'll see what happens, but it's not for me.
Right. Okay. Let's go on to. You mentioned the Gold Cup. Let's go on to the Gold Cup now. That's on the Thursday. Ladies' Day.
Right.
Oh, the ladies
That's
will be
a super
out with
day.
the old hats and everything, and the game will be on there. Wonderful day. And I've been to a few Ascots, and I've seen a few ladies out on the count. Too much champagne.
That's for sure,
and
yeah.
there they go.
Day.
But it's the Gold Cup, which is the highlight, obviously, on the Thursday. And Fame and Glory, I would think, would be favourite.
It's about even money. Again, they reckon that could possibly slightly odds on.
Right.
There's a few in the race that could beat it, though, Dave, in the form of opinion poll.
Opinion poll, yes.
But I think the O'Brien chaps, not related, of course, Aidan and Joseph, will have a good week. In fact, looking at the betting, I think it's 7-10 for the trainer, O'Brien, to be the top trainer. And then for young Joseph, he's 3-1 to be the top jockey. So it could be a good week in the other races for the O'Briens.
Yeah. Now I've got one to beat the favourite in the Gold Cup.
Okay.
Colour Vision. Colour Vision used to be with Mark Johnson, now with Godolphin, and my boys in the UK say 6-1 each way. Have a little interest. So
it's also probably a safer bet.
maybe a swinger.
Yeah.
Swinger. You could take swingers here.
Yeah.
And all sorts of things. Swingers with Fame and Glory.
Yeah.
Would that be the way to go?
Well, you know me, Dave. I'm a favourite man. I'll be all or nothing on the Fame and Glory.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Right then, we move on to Friday. And what have we got there on Friday?
I think on the Fridays it's the coronation, isn't
That's
it?
correct.
The
That's
coronation.
correct, yes,
And I think maybe on the subject of the O'Brien chaps,
Yeah.
that could get back onto winning ways. It's also priced up about even money, 12-10, so it's also a bit skinny,
Yeah, a bit skinny,
considering the last 1,000 guineas run. But that's probably the best horse in the race, and I think.
Well, would Ryan Moore?
She could go
Would
in.
he ride it? Ryan Moore.
I'm not sure of the jockey arrangements, but I think it's probably O'Brien.
That younger Joseph O'Brien.
Joseph will probably have them out.
I mean, he's on a high, having won the Derby. I mean, he's a youngster, isn't he? I mean,
he done very well, by the way. He rode
big
the
thrill
perfect.
Big thrill for the father. I mean, your son wins the Derby. I mean, however many times you win it, if you can do a father and son, how huge is that?
Well, they're actually not related, Dave. To be honest, no. Aidan O'Brien, Joseph isn't his son.
Oh, okay.
No, they're just
it's not his son.
Not related. Funnily enough,
I didn't know that.
I think a lot of people think that.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting. That's certainly because I mean, I'm sure I read in the press, father and son win the first. Anyway, okay.
Might be
very
mistaken,
good.
but
no.
We'll take a bit evens after the show.
We'll have a bet on Davey. We'll have a bet on that.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go on to the Saturday, and let's go on to the Diamond Jubilee Stakes with Black Caviar. I mean, really, she was bought for, I think it was 200,000 Australian dollars by 3 couples, right? And it's a classic case of. I mean, you just love this comment from the wife of one of the couples. The guy comes back home, and he's sort of muttering on about horses, and she says, "You're not going to buy a bloody racehorse." And you'll have had that at home as well, haven't you?
For sure.
And he said, "Well," she says, "No, you're bloody well not going to buy a racehorse." And he went and bought it. And look what's happened. 3.7 million Australian dollars later.
So one way of keeping the wife quiet.
That's kept the wife quiet. Then she can go shopping.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, in Australia, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning in Melbourne when this race is run at Ascot. Already they're going to show in Federation Square, they're going to show the race, and they say the whole place will be packed at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch you run.
Well, that's the charisma this horse has, Davey. Over there, I've seen some of the shows. We've got a few videos on the website. Peter Moodley's interview for the race, and the hype on the horse is incredible. And if this is the best they've ever had, I see no opposition at Ascot for us.
Yeah.
In fact, I noticed another bet that they have is who's going to win by the furthest? Will it be Frankel or will it be Black Caviar? Which, being the sprint, you would suggest that maybe that'll be a bit closer than the Frankel's win, but they're also betting on the distance between which one will win by the longest distance between the two.
I'll go Frankel, and I'll tell you why. Freddie Head the famous French trainer, is bringing out Moonlight Cloud, Group 1 winner, to take on Black Caviar. And he says she better be good. Well, that is a huge. That's a
huge statement.
That's really upset the Aussies straight away.
Right.
I mean, the Aussies don't like that. They're absolutely fed up with that comment. But he says, I've never had my horse in better form, and a Group 1 winner, and I'll be taking that bet. I'll have a bet. I'll bet Frankel, because if Moonlight Cloud to run second, they're betting 9-2 Moonlight Cloud to run second to Black Caviar. It's a wonderful bet.
Okay, that seems like a good one.
Yeah,
I'll keep an eye on that, Dave.
Keep an eye on that.
My fingers will be crossed for Black Caviar, and I just wish you all the best in second place.
No, we got Nuke. What's his name? Luke Nolan. He's the jockey.
Yep, that's right.
Now,
yes.
Is that a worry to you at all? Is that a worry that he hasn't really rode? He might have ridden at Ascot once or twice, but it will only be that many times. Is it a worry for you?
No, I think it's safer sticking to the jockey that knows the horse. I know it's a different track and what have you, but he's also a world-class jockey, and I expect him to do the business.
Yeah.
Now.
And Peter Moody, how's he come across as a trainer?
He's come over very professional, and he's very happy the way things are going. You know, I don't think there's going to be a problem there, to be honest, Dave. I think the combination's right, the horse is right, it's arrived well, and as far as I'm concerned, it'll win quite comfortably.
I don't know if you saw her getting off the plane. She had this great big sort of padded suit on, didn't they?
Fantastic.
It always looked almost as good as you. I mean,
almost,
not quite as good as you,
smart,
but I mean,
smart but casual.
You're looking wonderful. I've just had my producer.
Huh?
I've just won my bet with you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Joseph, they are related.
All right, then, yeah. Well,
was it 100 quid, was it?
I'll pay up before we leave.
It's 100 quid. 100 quid.
Was it no Thai
baht? No, 100 Thai baht is a lot less, isn't it? Yeah.
Good.
But overall, let's just sort of think about the whole week. And really, I'm sure it's going to have massive coverage. I mean, almost on the front pages in Australia, obviously.
Yes.
It might even get on the front pages in the UK.
Oh, I think it'll be on Sky News, Dave.
Yeah.
I think
Sky News will cover it well, as always.
This is something special, you know.
Now we've got the Greeks out of the way. They're not in the headlines anymore.
Right,
And Madeleine McCann, after 5 years of that, they've given up on that as well.
Right.
So
every chance it could be the headline.
And the point is, Davey, it's great for racing, isn't it? I mean, all these superstars are wonderful for racing.
It's brilliant for racing, Dave.
Yeah.
We always need a star. Over the years, Empress Club, it's proved it.
Yeah.
They bring people to the racing, even if they're 1 to 6, 1 to 7. People come along to see these type of horses. They get the vibe, and it's great for our industry and for our sport. Great
for racing throughout the world. And of course, a big horse is always. I mean, we've got Jackson. That's the talking horse over here. But then, we're talking about huge horses, Frankel, Black Caviar. Wonderful. Dave, great to see you on World Focus. You look absolutely, you're man of the match there with that hat on. Absolutely. You look superb. And I'm sure you're looking to forward to a great week.
It's going to be a great week. I'm positive, as I say, I'm all dressed up, nowhere to go. And from jumping from Thailand to here, Molly taking the pair of shoes on for the first time for 2 weeks. But I'll be glued to the TV this week, and it's going to be fantastic. And all the best to the punters out there. And let's take the bookies to the cleaners. Well played. Well said there to Dave Scott from AfricanBettingClan.com. Thanks very much for Dave for joining us again on World Focus. We'd like him to come and join us whenever he's available. And very many thanks to him for his contribution.